Every year, millions of older adults across the world walk into hospitals and clinics, believing they're doing exactly what's right, getting their annual checkups, keeping up with medical advice, and following every doctor's order. But what if I told you that some of these same routine tests could quietly do the opposite of what they were meant to do? What if behind the polished walls of modern medicine there were hidden risks, the kind no one ever talks about? Risks that can silently raise your chances of a stroke, a heart event, or sudden dizziness days after a simple visit. You trust your doctor. You take the medications. You show up for every appointment. You do everything you're told. And yet, for thousands of seniors every year, something unexpected happens after these so-called routine procedures. They go home feeling fine, and within a day or two, experience confusion, blurred vision, or weakness, symptoms that often trace back to temporary spikes in blood pressure, disrupted circulation, or reactions from medical dyes and sedatives. In today's video, we're not here to spread fear. We're here to uncover the truth, because after 60, protecting your health isn't just about finding problems early, it's about avoiding new ones. In the next 30 minutes, I'll explore 5 common medical tests that could quietly increase your stroke risk. And most importantly, you'll learn how to ask the right questions, protect your body, and stay safe without avoiding necessary care. If you're over 60, drop a 1 in the comments. If not, drop a 0. This is Healthy Life Guide, and we're here to help you live smarter, longer, and stronger with information your doctor might not have time to explain. Now, let us begin with the first test. One of the most commonly ordered scans in the world. 3. And test number 1, CT scans with contrast, the hidden danger. Inside the dye, let's talk about something familiar. The CT scan. Short for computed tomography, it's a powerful imaging test that helps doctors look inside your body. When contrast dye is used, it makes blood vessels and tissues appear more clearly. You might remember that warm, flushed feeling spreading through your arms and chest when the dye enters your bloodstream. It's quick, effective, and often life-saving. But here is the part no one explains. That contrast dye isn't just a harmless liquid. It is a chemical compound designed to circulate rapidly through your system. And for people with high blood pressure, kidney disease, or weakened blood vessels, it can trigger reactions that quietly raise the risk of stroke. Studies have shown that contrast agents can cause 2 major effects: sudden blood pressure spikes, where fragile arteries constrict under stress; vasovagal reactions, sudden drops in blood pressure and heart rate, sometimes leading to fainting or nausea. For a healthy young adult, the body usually recovers quickly, but in someone over 60, whose circulation may already be fragile, this can become a dangerous chain reaction. A report in the Journal of Vascular and Interventional Radiology tracked older adults after CT scans with contrast. Within 3 days, many experienced temporary vascular complications, headaches, dizziness, or even minor strokes. Let me share a true-to-life example. An 81-year-old man went for a CT scan to investigate mild stomach pain. He walked out fine. 2 days later, his family found him disoriented. Doctors discovered a small clot in his brain, likely triggered by a blood pressure surge during the scan. This doesn't mean you should avoid CT scans. They can detect cancers, aneurysms, and clots that might save your life. But you should never agree to one without understanding why. Before any contrast CT, always ask, is this scan absolutely essential? Can it be done without contrast? Do I have any conditions that make this risky? If you have kidney problems or hypertension, your doctor can order a non-contrast CT or even an ultrasound instead. Because in medicine, sometimes less is more, especially when your system is already working hard to stay balanced. Test number 2, the cardiac stress test. When testing the heart pushes too hard, the exercise stress test, or treadmill test, sounds like a great way to measure heart strength. You're hooked up to monitors, walking or jogging as your pulse and blood pressure are tracked. But what seems safe on paper can become risky in real life, particularly after 60. Here's why. During the test, your heart rate and blood pressure rise quickly as you move. That's the point. Doctors want to see how your heart performs under stress. But if your arteries are stiff, or if you already have hidden plaque buildup, that pressure surge can act like striking a match near dry wood, potentially triggering vessel spasms, arrhythmias, or even a clot. In a 2020 study from the American Journal of Cardiology, researchers observed over 2,300 seniors who underwent treadmill stress testing. Around 7% developed issues like extreme blood pressure surges, irregular rhythms, or neurological symptoms. Let's look at Margaret's story. She was 74, managing mild hypertension. Her doctor ordered a stress test just to check. Halfway through, she felt dizzy and short of breath. They stopped immediately, but the next morning, she suffered a minor stroke. Doctors later believed her blood pressure spike during the test caused a vessel rupture. The stress test didn't cause her stroke directly, but it pushed a vulnerable system too far. So what can you do? If your doctor suggests this test, ask, "Do I have symptoms that make this necessary? Is there a safer version for older adults?" In many cases, a pharmacological stress test, using medicine instead of exercise, or a resting echocardiogram, provides similar insight without physical strain. And remember, if you don't have chest pain, fatigue, or shortness of breath, it might not be time for this test yet. Test number 3, sedated endoscopy or colonoscopy, the silent circulation trap. For many people over 60, endoscopies and colonoscopies are routine, ways to check for ulcers, bleeding, or cancer. These tests save lives every year. But when done just to be safe, they can carry hidden risks. Here's why. Most seniors take medications like aspirin, Plavix, or warfarin, drugs that thin the blood. During sedation, blood pressure can drop, oxygen levels fluctuate, and circulation to the brain may slow. Combine all of this with blood-thinning medicine, and the risk of mini-strokes or silent ischemic episodes rises. A 2021 review in gastrointestinal endoscopy found that people over 65 who underwent sedated endoscopies had a significantly higher chance of transient ischemic attacks, mini-strokes, within 72 hours. Consider this story. A 76-year-old woman went in for a routine colonoscopy. She had no symptoms, just following her doctor's checklist. 2 days later, she began slurring her speech. Tests showed she'd had a small ischemic event, likely linked to sedation and her daily aspirin use. Before any sedated procedure, make sure your doctor knows your full medication list. Ask, "Can we do this without sedation? Should I pause my blood thinner first? Is this test truly necessary right now?" If your doctor can't to give a clear reason, or if you're symptom-free, you have every right to request non-invasive alternatives like stool testing or ultrasound screening, because preventive care should protect, not provoke. Test number 4, MRI with contrast. When clarity comes at a cost, MRI scans are among the most advanced imaging tools we have. They can detect brain, spine, or tissue changes long before symptoms appear. But many MRIs today use gadolinium-based contrast agents, chemicals that make images clearer. The problem? Gadolinium is a heavy metal, and your kidneys are responsible for removing it. As we age, kidney function naturally slows, even in healthy people. If your body can't filter it efficiently, traces of gadolinium can linger, sometimes settling in the brain or tissues. A 2019 radiology study found gadolinium deposits in the brains of older adults who had multiple contrast MRIs. Many reported brain fog, headaches, or temporary imbalance afterward. It's not common, but it's real. A man named Harold, 79, went in for a back scan. His doctor ordered it with contrast. 2 days later, he felt confused and weak. Later tests revealed early-stage kidney disease, something he never knew he had. Before your next MRI, always ask, "Is contrast absolutely needed? Can you test my kidney function first?" Ask for a GFR test. Most doctors can do the scan without contrast unless they're looking for very specific details. So speak up. Because the MRI isn't the problem. It's the added chemical your body might not be ready to handle. Test number 5. Carotid artery ultrasound. When screening creates surgery. The carotid arteries located in your neck carry blood to your brain. Over time, they can collect plaque. A carotid ultrasound checks for narrowing, a useful test if you have symptoms like dizziness or vision problems. But for symptom-free adults, it's often unnecessary. Here's the issue. Once mild narrowing is detected, some doctors recommend procedures like carotid stenting or endarterectomy, surgeries that, ironically, can trigger strokes. A massive study in the New England Journal of Medicine followed over 3,000 seniors with moderate narrowing but no symptoms. It found that surgery did not significantly reduce stroke risk compared to medication and healthy lifestyle changes. In fact, a small number of patients suffered strokes during surgery itself. Take Helen, 82. Her doctor ordered a carotid scan just to check. It showed a 65% blockage. She felt fine, but surgery was scheduled. During the operation, a small clot dislodged. She survived, but her mobility was never the same. If you're asked to take this scan, ask, "What symptoms suggest I need this?" If narrowing is found, what's the treatment plan? If your only risk is age, medication and monitoring are often safer than immediate surgery. 27. Sao. Final thoughts. Your health, your choice. Let's bring it all together. Not every test is dangerous, but not every test is necessary. After 60, your body's balance is more delicate. What seems routine, a dye injection, a sedative, a scan, can quietly create ripple effects you don't feel until later. The key isn't to fear medicine, it's to understand it. Before any procedure, take a pause and ask, is this vital? What are the alternatives? How does this fit my situation? Because your health journey isn't a checklist, it's a conversation. If this video made you think differently about your next appointment, type "aware" in the comments. Let's build a community of informed, empowered adults who take charge of their own care. This is Healthy Life Guide, your trusted source for honest health education, not fear or confusion. Stay informed, stay safe, and as always, take care of your body like it is the only one you've got.